There's a serious debate going on among dietitians when it comes to eating fish, especially because of its nutritional value. After all, fish stands out as a top protein source, loaded with nutrients like vitamin B2 and D, which are crucial for energy, blood pressure, and nerve health. And its richness in minerals such as iodine, iron, magnesium, potassium, selenium, and zinc add to its nutritional resume. Also, advocates for eating fish emphasize the omega-3s found in fish oil, as they are seen as crucial for cardiovascular, ocular, pulmonary, and immune health. But unfortunately, due to water pollution, there are also concerns. Among them are the PCBs, which are harmful industrial chemicals that have been allowed to pollute our air and water. And it's those PCBs, as well as mercury, that can build up in the fish we eat. So since the science is still out on the amount of pollution that exists, the only true way to control our exposure is to limit how much fish we consume. And while I personally have a hard time advocating to eliminate a food, there are some out there who think no amount of fish is safe. So if you do choose to eat fish for its health benefits, experts suggest that fish should be eaten 2 to 3 times per week, and it should be carefully selected, which is exactly why we made this video. We're about to cover the 5 healthiest fish to eat, which means not only will these fish help to sustain you, aka the safest and healthiest, but they'll sustain our waters as well. Number 1, Atlantic mackerel. Atlantic mackerel is one of those fish that we seem to have a lot of in our oceans, which means they can handle being caught in large numbers. And with a robust taste and around 20 grams of protein in every 3 ounces, it's definitely a fish worthy of consideration. If you've ever had it, it's also one that tastes great with strong spices and goes well with bold flavors. But the best part is that Atlantic mackerel contains relatively little mercury, according to the FDA and EPA. Generally, fatty fish contain the least amount of mercury and are also the healthiest varieties. So Atlantic mackerel comes up a winner in both categories. Number 2, salmon, wild caught. Although most farm-raised salmon is relatively low in mercury and other contaminants, a 2023 Science of the Total Environment article concluded that wild-caught Alaskan salmon and Norwegian salmon are among the best choices. For example, Alaskan salmon fisheries are especially well managed, with biologists stationed at each river mouth. And if you're wondering why they're there, it's to count returning wild fish. And if the numbers drop, the fishery is shut down. And it's this vigilance, strict quotas, and precise water quality management that makes Alaska wild salmon among the most sustainable and healthy out there. And don't worry, conditions are similar for Norwegians who also have strict regulations. Oh, and you shouldn't turn your nose up at the canned varieties of these fish. Buying salmon in a can is a more sustainable way to get this healthy seafood into your diet. Not only is it a great source of omega-3 fats, it's one of the best sources of non-dairy calcium. A 3-ounce serving has 240 milligrams of calcium, but check the label. And remember, canned wild salmon is typically sockeye or pink from Alaska. So if it says something else, you may want to keep looking. Number 3, sardines, wild caught. This tiny and inexpensive fish is making its way onto many dietitians' lists of superfoods. And for good reason. They're packed with nearly 300 milligrams of omega-3 fats per 3 ounces and are one of the rare foods naturally high in vitamin D. But while they've been praised, there are some things to be mindful of. While canned sardines are a low mercury fish, experts caution against eating them more than 4 times a week, since the mercury they can contain can build up if eaten too often. And if you're eating the canned variety, low sodium versions are best. So yes, despite these warnings, dietitians still encourage eating them for their benefits, so long as you don't consume more than 8 ounces per week. Number 4, rainbow trout. Rainbow trout is one of the best fish to eat when it's farmed in the U.S. Trout ranks just under canned pink salmon when it comes to omega-3 fats and supplies potassium, selenium, and vitamin B6. While offering more than a day's worth of vitamin B12. But for those of you who are looking for non-farm varieties, lake trout is a great alternative when it's sourced from the right places. Seafood Watch advises buying lake trout caught in the Great Lakes, specifically Lake Superior's Michigan and Minnesota waters, while avoiding trout that was caught in Wisconsin's Lake Superior. And a shout out to Seafood Watch, which is a great resource for anyone who wants to get information on their next seafood purchase. Number 5, herring. I've left the best for last. Herring, the fish that holds a special place in the Nordic diet, is special for good reason. It boasts over 1,400 milligrams of omega-3 fats in a 3-ounce serving, which is more than sardines, trout, or mackerel. Typically, it's enjoyed canned, cured, or smoked. But for the brave, herring can also be enjoyed fresh. Seafood Watch opts for the U.S. Atlantic herring since they're found in the cold, clean waters of the North Atlantic. And since herring matures slowly, it's thought that these conditions produce some of the cleanest and best tasting fish imagined. So there you have it, 5 of the healthiest fish to eat. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts. Are you eating fish? And if so, will you be adding any of these to your plate? Oh, and if you found this video helpful, please check out our channel for more on food and health. But until next time, remember, we try to eat healthy today to be healthy tomorrow. Take care.